Hi, I'm Jay, and today on Jay's World Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make homemade pizza. Let's face it, you can get pizza just about anywhere. You can have it delivered to your door. But there's something to be said for making it at home and making it yourself from scratch. This is a wonderfully easy pizza recipe. The dough we're going to make today is very, very simple. It feeds about 4 people a decent sized personal pizza. And it's a recipe that I used when my kids were younger. I'd make the dough and they could top it with whatever they wanted, and there was something very rewarding about making your own food and eating it, and they could customize it just how they wanted. And I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun with this really simple, easy to put together recipe. Let's have a look at the ingredients. This recipe calls for very simple ingredients, and it really is very easy to put together. Now, quickly before we get into the full ingredients, I will mention that I am using all-purpose flour. For breads and things like that, you really should use bread flour because it does have more protein, but I'm just using all-purpose flour, and to be honest, the results are still pretty darn good. So for this recipe, you're going to need 2 cups of flour, a cup of warm water, a teaspoon of sugar, a teaspoon of active dry yeast, 1 teaspoon of table salt, and a tablespoon of olive oil. It's really simple. Let's put this together. To start putting this together, we're going to put our yeast into a measuring cup with our 1 cup of warm water and our sugar so that it can bloom, and set it aside. Now in a larger mixing bowl, we're going to throw in our flour and our salt. Just stir them up. And once your yeast has bloomed, we're going to add in our olive oil and our yeast and give it a good mix. It's going to come together quite quickly, so you're going to have to use your hands. And once it's mostly together, you can turn it out onto a counter, and you really shouldn't need to add much in the way of flour to the counter because it's going to have some of its own. And then you're just going to work this with your hands until it all comes together. And it might be a little sticky, that's okay. And once our dough is quite smooth and elastic, we're going to take a bowl, drizzle it with some olive oil, give it a good coating, pop our bowl in, make sure it's well coated, cover it with some plastic wrap and a tea towel, and set aside for 45 minutes to an hour until the dough has doubled in size. And now our dough has been sitting for about an hour, and as you can see, it has come up about double the size that it was. And I'm just going to simply pop that out onto a lightly floured surface, like that. A little bit of flour on top, not a ton. And you just want to punch it down to get all that air out and give it a little bit of a knead. It should be quite soft and easy to manipulate. Now, usually I do a large batch of this, but this is quite a small one. I am going to divide this into 4, just roughly, doesn't have to be perfect. And we're going to roll each one into a bowl just using our hands. At this point, also preheat your oven to 375 degrees. And we're going to take our bowl and just start manipulating it around into a circle. a little bit at a time. And if you find that the dough starts getting very tough on you, just let it rest for a minute or two and then carry on. And you sort of want to stretch it a little as you go. Again, remembering that this is homemade pizza, it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, and once your dough is laid out, you can put it on a pizza stone if you have one. I'm just going to use a flat bottom cast iron skillet here. And now it's time to use some of our pizza sauce that we made a week ago. And oh, just look at that color, and the smell is incredible. And I'm just making a very simple pizza here, just some pepperoni and mozzarella, but this sauce is going to be the star of the show, I can just tell. And you want to add your mozzarella, and if you're like me, I'm a meat lover, so I do like a lot of pepperoni on my pizza. And now you can sprinkle it with a tiny touch of oregano and pop that into your 375-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how well you like your crust done. Check the bottom every couple of minutes until it's done. And then we'll come back and taste this. I put an extra 5 minutes on the pizza because I do like the bottom a little bit crispier, but the smell is amazing, and I'm excited for this because I really like pizza. Just remember that you can make this completely your own. You can add whatever toppings you want, and a great project for kids. Let them put their own toppings on and throw it in the oven. It makes a fantastic meal, and it really is well worth the effort. I cannot wait for this. Oh man, that toasty crust, and then that bold pizza sauce flavor underneath there is just amazing. The crust is light, crispy, and really just so good. Oh, you have got to try this, and you got to make it your own. And please remember that if you do, I want to hear how it turned out for you in the comment section below. Remember too that you can follow me on my social media. Those links are also below in the comment section. And if you would like to support this channel financially, please visit my Patreon, where you can learn all the benefits of being a patron of this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.